or have any Facebook account whatsoever. The place, it's jumped the shark. And I want to tell you, I used to work for, I'm going to tell you some things about Facebook that you should know. Because I worked in cybersecurity and with, computers for a long time, building databases and such. I worked for Booz Allen Hamilton. Booz Allen Hamilton, the same place where Edward Snowden worked. And what he revealed doesn't mean anything because the actual mechanism for spying on average citizens is Facebook. They sell your data to anybody, the NSA, what have you. Even local police, and local police once called me because I made a post on Facebook that said, I don't believe in systemic superstructures. Now, as you know, most police didn't go to college, and let me explain what that means. A superstructure is one of the theories of Marxism, and I'm not really a Marxist, so I was basically making a sort of libertarian statement about one of the Marxist beliefs, and I really don't believe in superstructures. I don't think that there's things like systemic racism. I believe we do things through something that's called collusion. I'm sort of into what is really called zeitgeist theory, and I went to a college where I took a lot of evolutionary biology classes, and some of my professors were, they were into zeitgeist theory and stuff like that, and phenomenology, and phenomenology as a total, phenomenology is actually what it's called, but you know it as phenomenology. Has a completely different idea of how the world works, right, and how mobs work and things like that. And it doesn't have anything to do with superstructures or whatever. That the government doesn't make structures that control you. And I think any sort of theory that is about larger entities controlling you is on the verge of mental illness. So I don't really believe in that. And I didn't want a dumbass who only graduated from high school calling me about that and thinking, I was against the system. I'm not against the system. I was in the United States Army, as a 74 Delta, as a counterterrorism position. I worked for Booz Allen Hamilton. You obviously can't be very much against the system if you work for Booz Allen Hamilton. The other problem with Facebook is advertising. I have a record company. You get no returns from Facebook advertising. That's very well known. And that's one of the reasons that Mark Zuckerberg has been going on a tour about Facebook. He's trying to save it because lots of people know that it's having problems and that it's a problematic platform. People don't, 68% of the posts on Facebook are about politics. People don't click through to, like, say if I posted something on Spotify about one of the bands on the small label I have, they wouldn't get interested in that. And, I also worked at a big web marketing company. It was in Chicago. I started as a coder there. It became the fifth biggest biggest customer for Google. And buying advertisements like pay-per-click and such. And Google is still the best advertising that you can do. I will tell you that for every $20 that you spend on a banner on Google, you're going to get one sale, right? And everybody knows that. And pay-per-click is really effective too. They have it, used to have it on the side, but Facebook is not a good way to do commerce. And then they have the Facebook jobs. If you look at the jobs on there, it looks like Labor Ready owns Facebook. It's jumped not just one shark, it's jumped every shark in the Pacific Ocean, right? It's like taken off from Tillamook in Oregon and gone all the way over to Japan. And there's so many people with fake accounts on there that just troll people, and I'm done with it. And I think a lot of people are done with it because it's not a useful tool. And one of the things why I got off it is because I was at a Pink concert. I kind of became a dork, which is one of the terms people who are really into Pink say. And my iPad went out, and I wanted another picture, and I asked someone, the person near me, if they could take a particular picture with a friend and my service dog, and they said, send it to me, and they said, I can only text you, I don't have Facebook or Twitter, right? And other people said that they don't have it, Because I think that basically, what happens with people is they get involved in more physical communities, right? And I went to go see Pink. I'm a disabled veteran. I went to go see Pink because friends in Los Angeles suggested that'd be a good way for me to be part of a community where there's a lot of disabled people and people who are really accepting. And it really was like a transformational experience. Adele said that going to a Pink concert was the pivotal moment in her life, and it really, really was. I'm going to go to Atlantic City to see her again because what people do are fans. They buy block tickets and they sell them at the same price so that basically people can meet up who are fans of hers and party together. And, she's from Philadelphia, and it's kind of interesting. I knew about Pink because my first year's girlfriend went to Central Park High School and told me about, this girl from her high school who was a great singer and releasing this album and stuff. She just thought this was going to be the most awesome person, the most awesome singer ever. And that's how I first learned about Pink. And, I lived in Philly, so I went to a program at UPenn, a nonprofit professionals program, and then I also did business at Drexel, both schools. It's going to be cool to be in South Jersey, which is close to where she's from. But what people generally do is I've discovered that people, they have these sort of physical communities, and you get to know people, and they feel part of the community in person, which is less insane than thinking you have all these friends online. And furthermore, I'm a coder, right? And I'm at Starbucks right now, and I like Starbucks. It's a company that I've done a lot of work with. I train service dogs, and it's a company that helps the program that I work with, Service Pets for Vets, inoculate service dogs, which means getting them used to being in places. And the baristas are great about it. But I've talked to Starbucks about the fact that they should build a social app, because a lot of us go to Starbucks. We know people who go to Starbucks, and I don't want to just talk with someone online. I want to meet up with them. And so I just deleted the account. It's not really part of my life anymore. There are people I don't really want to see. A lot of times people go through changes. When I left college and moved to Newark, New Jersey, I had a whole different sort of group of friends. I had lived in Paterson, New Jersey for part of my childhood, and I reconnected with those people. So even though I grew up in Chicago, I sort of had like a Jersey thing, and now I live out on the West Coast, and I spend time in Los Angeles, and live in Arizona, and I'm a totally different person because I've lived out there, and my city is LA, and I don't really need social media for that kind of stuff. I make physical sort of friends by doing things and going to places. And it's just, I use Instagram to tell people what I'm up to, but it's real. Like, you post pictures and stuff like that, and you don't get trolled and stuff like that. I hate Facebook. I think it's jumped the shark. If you own the stock, I would sell it, to be honest. And I used to work for the company in New York that did conferences like Private Equity Roundup and Asset-Backed Paper. So I have some authority to say that. The Private Equity Roundup is a really big gathering of people in private equity. It was a company that did conferences on Wall Street. And Facebook, there's going to be another tech bubble burst again. And you should prepare for it by selling your Facebook stock. But Facebook is over, right? And I'm glad I deleted the account. It was so worthless to my life. I didn't like seeing the news feed. I don't read the news because it's negative. And I'm done. I'm done with Facebook because it's not useful to my life. And ultimately what never happens is you have very few in real life interactions, right? And I think that that's the next wave of social media, is to sort of create some sort of social media where people will end up with real life interactions, which is what we all want.